Welcome, everyone. Glad you're with us tonight. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend. Big sports weekend here with a black and gold game in Mizzou Baseball with a huge series victory. In just a few minutes, former Tiger quarterback Drew Lock is here, and really, we have an interesting conversation ahead for you, looking ahead to the NFL draft next week. Drew, of course, a likely first-round pick. We'll also take you on Sophie Cunningham's path from Rockbridge High School to the WNBA. But first, the Missouri baseball team finished its series against LSU. Mizzou looking for its first series win over the Bayou Bengals in history. The Tigers of Mizzou against the Tigers of LSU. Bottom half of the second inning, Tony Ortiz hammers one to right, and that is gone. A three-run homer. The Mizzou Tigers up 3-0. Tigers play long ball, and then they play a little small ball as well. In the bottom half of the fourth inning, Clayton Peterson lays down the bunt. It's a squeeze play. Paul Gomez scores easily, 5-zip in favor of the Missouri Tigers. And then it's back to long ball in the eighth. Mizzou up 9-5. Cameron Meisner smashes this one off the Divine Pavilion beyond the right field fence. His ninth homer of the year. Mizzou beats LSU again to win a series against the LSU Tigers for the first time in history, 11-5 today's final. At the Masters, he had never won a major in which he trailed entering the final round until today. Of course, he hadn't won a major since 2008 in the U.S. Open. But look at this beautiful approach on the par 4 7th to set up a birdie to move within a shot of the lead. And Francesco Molinari, the Italian who had the lead much of the day, par 3 16th. Tiger, after Molinari had trouble on 15, almost hits a hole-in-one. He takes another birdie, and then Tiger Woods on 18 celebrates the victory. His fifth Masters win, but his first Masters victory since 2005.
Just the whole tournament has meant so much to me over the years. Coming here in 95 for the first time and be able to play as an amateur, winning in 97, and then come full circle 22 years later. This has meant so much to me and my family, this tournament. And to have everyone here, it's something I'll never, ever forget.
I'm not sure many of us will. Tiger there hugging his son after victory, and that brings us to tonight's Sports Extra trivia question. What is the longest time a Masters champion has gone between wins at Augusta National? The answer comes your way later. Welcome back. Time to answer tonight's sports trivia question. Earlier we asked, what is the longest time a Masters champion has gone between wins at Augusta National? Did you know? Well, it might be fresh on your mind if you did know. 14 years. Tiger Woods won it in 2005 and broke through again today. 2019, 14 years. Gary Player had a 13-year gap between Masters wins. Jack Nicklaus went 11 years between wins. Of course, Nicklaus with now 6 Masters titles and Tiger with 5. Nicklaus with 18 majors and Tiger now up to 15. Show Me State native makes history in the softball circle as the Tigers wrap up their tournament. Columbia College esports team tried defending their screens at the Midwest Campus Clash, but a Cinderella run had the Cougars in trouble.
I've dreamed of that, too, of inspiring, being a positive influence in the community, and so they've really embraced me.
And Sophie Cunningham stops by to reflect on her time in Columbia and look ahead to the WNBA. That's coming up next. We've just had the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. Hard to believe in this day and age, but it's true. Find out who prevailed in Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. Returns an award for his work in the weight room. All this and more coming up on Sports Extra with Chris Gervino. The NCAA on Thursday released results of its multi-year investigation into alleged academic fraud within the University of Missouri Athletic Department. The NCAA says a former tutor known to be Yolanda Coomer completed assignments, quizzes, and exams for 12 Tiger athletes. Investigators say she completed an entire course for one student athlete and parts of a placement exam for 2 student athletes. The punishment handed down by the NCAA on Mizzou athletics for academic fraud include a postseason ban for the football program for the upcoming 2019 season this fall, a postseason ban for the baseball and softball teams with their seasons that start in the next 2 weeks. Softball starts this coming Friday, baseball next week, and a 5% reduction in the amount of scholarships for football, baseball, and softball programs during the 2019-20 academic year, as well as recruiting restrictions for those 3 programs. Also, Mizzou will have to vacate records aided by the 12 student athletes. Missouri on 3 years probation. Tiger Athletic Director Jim Sturk says Missouri will appeal and Mizzou will win its appeal.
Move swiftly and cooperated with the NCAA. So I certainly don't think that these penalties are reflective of what we expected for self-reporting. I believe in doing things the right way, and we're going to continue to do things the right way. It'll be months, not weeks. So I don't know, and I just can't guess on that timeline.
Sturk did say, though, it could be 6 months before the appeal is answered. Missouri football coach Barry Odom shared his thoughts on the punishment Friday, challenging the ruling, and he was confident about Missouri's appeal. On the field, he sounds resilient despite these NCAA rulings.
It'd be a heck of a year for the Missouri football Tigers, and I can't wait to lead this group into it. And I look forward to whatever role that I've got in the appeal process. I'm going to go knock it out of the park.
You get hit by that NCAA penalty, and how have you addressed that? And obviously, I don't think we're going to know if the appeal's settled until football season gets underway. It might happen in the middle of the darn season.
You look at
the
thing. I was listening to a sermon today, and you're in life. You're dealt your hand of cards.
Sure you are.
Right. And what are you going to do with it? Mm-hmm. And the approach that we've taken after the initial shock.
And it was shock, wasn't it?
And surprising and shocking. Mm-hmm. You look at the severity of the sanctions that were handed down at that point. Really, everyone was surprised. And so, anyway, after you digest that, and then you inform our student athletes of what all that means at this point, and then you dust yourself off a little bit and say, let's get going, because any wasted time on that right now does absolutely zero for what we need to go accomplish. And you look at the job that Coach Beezer and Larissa Anderson are doing right now in baseball and softball.
Yeah.
They're on a heck of a run.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not affecting their teams. It's not affecting our guys, other than they know that it's out there. I do look at the response that Mizzou has had and the great leadership that we have shown, starting with Moon Choi and Dr. Cartwright and then Jim Sturk, John Sunvolt, all the things collectively that they have done, and then with the legal team that we've hired on putting together the appeal. We got the appeal filed, and then now the NCAA has a number of days to respond to that, and then we've got a number of days to respond to that, and then eventually we'll get it worked out. But I look at the infractions committee, the way that the penalties read at this point. If those stand, then really that is not going to serve well for the future of intercollegiate athletics, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. I do feel strongly about the closeness of our team and the way that they have responded. They've done absolutely everything that I've asked and put in front of them. They've done it with great togetherness, with great spirit. And whenever we find out what is going to stay and what's not, then that's going to be just another thing that we deal with. And if you've recruited the right kids and you build relationships the right way, and your locker room is set the way that ours is right now, then you can have open and honest conversations like we've been able to do through this. And I've got great trust in our team and our coaches that we're going to handle this exactly the way that we're supposed to.
Yeah, it was, to go back and look at it, and, I ended up committing to Missouri and playing at Missouri, but to the career that we ended up having here and being able to spend it with all of my family members, regardless of where we were at. If we were at Florida, we were in Columbia, majority of my family ended up at that game. So I think the biggest part to me was, I didn't necessarily think about it when I committed, but, now that I went to Missouri and I got to be so close to my family, I got to get everybody together every single weekend. And, it was really cool to play football, but it was even more cool to be able to go after the games and see everybody that came to support you, and it was the people you truly cared about.
Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta featured the New England Patriots and Los Angeles Rams, a rematch of Super Bowl 36 in New Orleans when the Pats beat the then St. Louis Rams. For Missourians, this might have been the nightmare Super Bowl matchup, huh? After all, the Pats beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, And after all, Rams owner Stan Kroenke moved the team out of St. Louis and back to the West Coast. Nonetheless, the game went on without a lot of points. Only Super Bowl ever with no touchdowns through 3 quarters. What? True. 3-3 into the fourth, and Tom Brady finds Gronk. Rob Gronkowski's reliable tight end on a long pass to the 2-yard line, and that would set up the only touchdown of the game. Sonny Michel, the former Georgia Bulldog, scores 10-3 New England. The Rams tried to rally late. Jared Goff, their quarterback, throws down the right sideline, and he's intercepted by Stephon Gilmore. New England had the ball back, marched downfield again, wouldn't get a touchdown, but got the all-important clinching field goal. Stephen Gostkowski, 41-yarder, with just more than a minute to play, and the New England Patriots win the lowest scoring Super Bowl ever, 13-3. Brady and Belichick get their 6th Super Bowl title. Julian Edelman wins MVP honors with 10 catches for 141 yards.
It just matters that we won, man. It was a crazy year. We had a resilient bunch of guys. It was unreal, man.
What a game, and just so proud of our team. I mean, the support here tonight was like a home game. We could have been at Gillette Stadium. And
it's all about the players. These guys worked so hard all year. They just competed every week, and they competed today like champions. They played like champions.
Zion Williamson and Duke battling Michigan State. First half, Duke down by 7 points. Williamson powers past the defender to slam it home. Later, Duke with a 2-point lead when Michigan State's Cassius Winston sinks the jump shot. Ball game tied at 30. Late second half, Duke up 1, and Zion in attack mode again. He'll drive and score, and the Duke Blue Devils led by 3. Michigan State answers the Winston, the lob to Xavier Tillman. It's a 1-point ball game, and later the Spartans take the lead. Kenny Goins for the triple. Michigan State up 2. Finally, Michigan State up by a point. Had to get the ball in bounds to avoid trouble, and the Spartans did just that. They head to the Final Four in Minneapolis, ending Duke's season 68-67. Women's college basketball season concluded tonight in Tampa, a rematch of the 2012 title game. Baylor and Notre Dame playing for college basketball's crown. Notre Dame looking to repeat as national champs, both the Fighting Irish and Bears playing for their 3rd national championship. Big moment here. Baylor in complete control of this game, up by 14. And one of the Baylor stars, Lauren Cox, suffers an injury. Had to leave the game in a wheelchair. A huge loss, literally and figuratively, for Baylor. Wouldn't you know, Notre Dame comes back with that momentum. Baylor understandably deflated. And Enrique Ogunbowale hits the big bucket there. This was a tie game after Notre Dame had trailed by 11 to start the 4th. Marina Mabry connects there. It's all even at 74. But with 8 seconds to go, Chloe Jackson drives and scores for Baylor as she got that ball to rim in. As you get another look from above, that was close, but it stayed in the cylinder. Notre Dame had 2 free throws, chance to tie, but Ogunbowale, who'd been a hero for this team in years past, missed the first free throw, needed to miss the second one intentionally, and made it. Baylor prevails by a point, 82-81. Kim Mulkey and the Bears get their 3rd national title. The men's national champion will be decided Monday night in Minneapolis. The number 3 seed out of the Big 12, Texas Tech, will take on the number 1 seed from the ACC, Virginia. Both ball clubs advanced with close national semifinal wins, and they'll both be looking for their 1st national title as they play in Minneapolis coming up Monday night, 8:20 tip time here in the Central Time Zone. Folks, that is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Cam Redler, Ethan Illers, our producers, and Jade Simonson's the director. I'm Chris Gervino. See you back here tomorrow night. So long, everybody.